Hi everybody, this is Marnelle coming to you from the restaurant. So I have been in meetings with our team, our marketing team, Carrie and Kelly. Carrie does all of our social media marketing, and Kelly is our brand director of branding and make sure that we show up well in the marketplace. And we came to a conclusion. So for those of you that are watching, we came to a conclusion. There's so many questions that people have about Kiepersol. So from here on out, we'll see how long we make this last, but we're going to try to do it consistently, 52 times. We're going to come live on Friday, and we're going to just answer some questions and tell some stories about Kiepersol, who we are, a little bit about our culture, a little bit about what we offer, what happens behind the scenes, and maybe take away some of the mystery. One of the questions we see online is, who owns Kiepersol? Well, my sister Valmay Power and myself, Marnelle Durret, co-own and operate Kiepersol. Our dad founded this company back in 1998, 1999. We planted the vineyard, and he passed away in 2016, and my sister and our amazing husbands have been running this place together. Now, a little bit about the culture of Kiepersol before we get in the building and talk about the decor and what's happening there. A little bit about our culture is that we are 100% wholeheartedly in love with Jesus Christ. We run this and operate this from a Christian standpoint in terms of all the leadership here. And so that's the main part about our culture. Now, that does mean we mess things up, because, you know, that's what we do as Christians. We still mess things up. But if I were to talk about our culture in any way, I have to put Jesus at the forefront of everything. So that's a little bit about who I am, and we've been here 26 years. 27 years. So it's been a minute. The building's getting old, but it's standing the test of time. So I'm going to go inside and we'll talk a little bit about some of the stories behind this. Another thing about the culture here is that, well, Dad claimed we were green before green was cool, aka poor. Well, meaning that we use a lot of used material, a lot of material that was actually started out as something else before we used it. So there's an eclectic style. And something that inspired me to come in and talk about the decor today is that I did a little antiquing yesterday with my daughter. And I have not been in an antique store in 10 years, y'all. 10 years. And when I was in that antique, okay, slow connection. I'm so glad y'all didn't go anywhere. When I was in that antique store yesterday, it took me back to my childhood. I remember so many Saturdays and Sundays just walking through aisles and aisles of antiques with our dad. And he found so many treasures. So much of the decor in this building, in our restaurant building, literally came from antique stores. So our style is eclectic and timeless. That's kind of one of the best ways to put it. So I loved walking around in that antique store because it brought back so many memories, and I saw so many hutches and beautiful pieces that made me think of the decor in the restaurant. So I'm going to try walking in here. We're going to hope that this picks up the Wi-Fi. Maybe the team will help me out and I won't lose connection. So here we are in the building. I'm going to turn this around. So there's a story with all the old wood. Now, this was a 100-year-old barn that was torn down in California. It was a 100-year-old stable, and the stable was actually painted kind of a light green. And all this wood got sandblasted. So we took the stable down, and the stable was removed in order to plant an almond orchard. So my dad was actually the one who developed the almond orchard, and he saw the beauty in all this wood and said, we can repurpose it. So he was able to bring the wood back, and you can kind of see a little bit of the green color there where it wasn't all fully sandblasted. But they lined this whole building up with this old wood and then sandblasted it, and it just gives it this rich, eclectic feel. Now, the photos that you see here are family photos. So this is my grandmother and my grandfather on my dad's side. Here's a picture of my dad on his first tractor. So when you enter in the building, you kind of get a little family history. Now, we immigrated from South Africa, so the beginning, when you enter in, these are old pictures of my dad's childhood in South Africa. This picture is one of my dad 2 months prior to his passing. We put this up, and he was in a vineyard in South Africa. He was touring, and it was just one of the coolest pictures that he was back in South Africa wearing a cowboy hat. It's hard as an immigrant to have your heritage and your new way of life. So this has pictures of our African heritage, but so much Texan feel. So this is one of his hats that hangs here. And then in the bar, we have pictures also from Africa that are all photography that was done on a photography safari. So also kind of highlighting where some African beauty is, and isn't that gorgeous? So more of the wood. And then as we come into the dining room here, you see pictures of Kiepersol. So all the rich old wood. And here's some examples of antiques. So that's Nikki there, everyone. She's a staple here. More pictures, a beautiful view. And I don't want to mess with the diners at all, but we have a gorgeous wine cellar here. I'm gonna come sit down and talk to you. There's Kelly and Carrie. Let me turn this around. Not sure how many of you are watching, but the message I want to send, you got a little tour of the building and what it looks like in here. The questions, I guess, to answer, one of the questions was, who are we and what's the story behind this old restaurant? The feel that we want you to have when you come here, the whole, I guess, vibe, as they say, is timeless. So the idea is that you come here, and if a black and white photo were taken of you, you wouldn't know if it was 100 years ago or today. And that's the same thing about the food. So Dad kind of instilled this concept of no frou-frou. We want meat and potatoes. So you definitely get meat and potatoes. Every now and then we'll have something kind of fancy and fun. We do that for vintners dinners. But the main gist is that you're gonna get high, good quality. Everything is cooked here from scratch. Nothing's pre-cut. Rustic Elegance meat and potatoes. So you'll get, we throw some rice and some risotto in there too. But that's the main idea. And then of course we offer our wines and our spirits here. So when I was antiquing yesterday downtown Tyler, I hadn't been down there in a while, so I didn't realize how much construction's happening. And I see in the buildings, I kind of walked around there, and I see in the buildings are some really beautiful pictures of what downtown Tyler is going to look like. And my heart kind of hurt a little bit. So the businesses down there and the local restaurants like ours, like all the restaurants the Villa Pudua brothers have, and all these local restaurants where you can't find another one like it, right? Where it's not a chain, it's part of the identity of the community, they need your support. And walking around downtown Tyler yesterday, I saw, Prime 102, there's a parking garage you can go to, and it's a really nice walk this time of year. They have in the construction zone down there, they have it open where you can go to Rick's and you can go to the Plaid Rabbit, Culture ETX, all those little restaurants down there on the square. I encourage you to go there and see them and visit them. The thing about local dining is not just the identity of a community. There's so much more to it and so many more memories. And we've heard of these restaurants closing this year. And every time I hear of a restaurant closing, it breaks my heart because the economy shifts and times change. But where there are staples, I would love to see the community get behind all these local restaurants in Tyler, all the restaurants where they're one of a kind. I really encourage everyone to go see them and see what they're about and see how different we are all from each other, and how it's fun because you might have a dish that's husband's favorite at this restaurant and a dish that's wife's favorite at that restaurant, but you start to build community, and by going to these places, we have staff that have been here literally 15, 16 years. And not to be too cliche, but you can develop a relationship with people where everyone knows your name. And so I'd love to see, my call to action on this is that everybody that's watching, go eat somewhere local today. And if you're interested in this place, we're 11 miles south of Loop 323. Next Friday, if you guys have questions about Kiepersol, things that you're interested in, rumors that you heard, whatever you're interested in knowing about, let us know. Put it in the comments, and then we can do another video where we kind of communicate whatever you guys want to know about what's happening here at Kiepersol. So we're 11 miles south of Loop 323. If you listen to Paul Gleiser's radio, he has the best instructions on how to get here, but stick us in Google, you'll find us. There is one topic that I'm almost scared to bring up, but I think I might, and that is questions about our dress code. We have been toying with the idea of doing away with the dress code. So do away with the dress code and everybody come in casual, and we don't change our service, we don't change anything we do, or maintain the dress code. The scary thing about a dress code and what we've encountered is that if it's misheard or not understood, it's really hard to enforce. It's really hard to ask someone with messy hair to take off their ball cap. But if everybody says, hey, keep the dress code or let it become more laxed, I'd love to hear the public's opinion on the dress code that we've had. So basically, the dress code currently is no athletic wear, tennis shoes, have to have a collar on your shirt, no ball caps. Not too bad, but it still kind of gets in the way sometimes, or makes it uncomfortable to talk about. So yeah, I'd love everybody's opinion on do away with dress code or keep the dress code. Let's see what you guys think about that, and put some comments in here about questions you have. God bless you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for learning a little bit, and I'll see you next Friday with some other questions, and we'll do other behind the scenes tours. I know we've got some wine blending going on. We've got some cooking at the distillery going on. So we are a permitted winery and distillery, so we'll talk about that. I'll show you guys a little bit about behind the scenes there, and looking forward to talking to you next week. Y'all take care. Cheers.